And welcome to Dangerous Fly Fishing, episode 75. I'm Chris Cooper. That is Jim Carney. How are you, sir?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Good to see you. Also in studio, we have Mr. Ross Slyskoka as well as Matt Carney. How are you, sir?
Sad.
Also sad. Very sad.
He's probably sadder than I am.
Probably true.
Yeah, it's been a sad week in this household and throughout the family.
Yeah.
But
Anyone who knew him.
yeah. So Matt unfortunately lost the boat dog this week.
The fur torpedo.
He unfortunately passed away this past Sunday, and he will be missed.
Yes, you will. Absolutely.
It's going to be kind of interesting because I feel like everybody at tournaments knew us because of the German Shepherd that always rode in the boat.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a little sad not having my fishing buddy anymore.
Specifically in the captain's chair, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He drove that thing. Like pretty much, I think 90% of the photos I have with him are of him in some sort of boat, or like I have one of you and him where he's sitting on the rower's seat and you're in the back fishing. And
Yep.
yeah, that dog, he loved being a part of everything we did, and he loved going fishing with us.
Oh, yeah.
So
I think his favorite thing to do in the world, though, was when we'd be up at trout camp. Like, that was his Super Bowl, was waking us all up to go fishing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely fantastic.
As soon as my alarm went off, it was Dad. We had to wake everybody up, and I'd literally just walk out of my bedroom, just open doors as I went, and he'd jump on everybody's bed and wake them up. And
yep.
So excited.
yeah, it's going to be a very tough opening day of trout this weekend.
No, you're not wrong.
So
Yeah, you know what? I haven't even told my dog yet, so that's going to be rough on him, I'm sure.
he probably doesn't
No.
care. But that's Pete. Pete kind of had the same sentiment when I told Pete. He goes, I don't even know how to tell Ketso that his best friend died.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you tell? Does a golden retriever even process that? I don't know, but I know I feel sad.
Yeah. I know. I mean, Archer and Rocky are around the same age.
Yeah.
I mean, they were their first friends, I suppose. Well, you had other dogs here, but man, it just
Yeah, you got Rocky right around the same time I got Archer. Well, shortly after I got Archer.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, Rocky was a rescue. But
Yeah. Within 6 months though of you
Yeah.
having Archer as a pup, I had Rocky, and he was already 6 months old. So yeah.
Yeah, so they're about the same age, and
Mhm.
they were best of friends, and they loved wrestling and
Oh, boy.
carousing and fighting and kind of freaked people out because, Pitbull and a German Shepherd going at it, and everybody'd get worried, but that was just those two idiots having fun.
Yeah, we'd look at it and just be like, no, that's what they're supposed to do. If they're
Yeah.
not fighting, that's what's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Those were the original toothy critters, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, Archer will be sadly missed.
Yes.
Because kind of crazy that you had three large men floating on a raft with a German Shepherd in the middle, but that's where he wanted to be.
Yeah, that's where he would absolutely refuse to be anywhere else. But
Yeah.
this is my spot. Deal with it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You don't need to row this raft. I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, and as soon as you start rowing, that's when your hands are moving around me. So that obviously means you want to pet me. And you're sitting there trying to guide yourself through all kinds of rapids, and he's just like, yeah, it's time to love me. What are you doing?
Yeah, get with the program, man.
Yeah. I remember I want to say it was last year now, but we were at Moraine, and we had the pontoon boat. And it was just you and I, Matt. And we went to let him off the boat to go onto an island to do some business. And we couldn't get in far enough because it was a little bit higher water or lower water. So we could only go so far up to the bank. And when we got up to the bank, he just decided he was going.
Yep.
I'm going now.
Yeah, you go within 10 feet of a bank, he's leaving the boat.
Unfortunately for Archer, he didn't realize that the water depth was still almost up above his neck. Not quite over his head, but it was there. It scared the bejesus out of him. And then he hops up, up onto the bank and does what a dog does.
He did the same thing when Ross was hooked into a muskie, and we netted the muskie, and we were heading ashore to unhook the muskie and get Ross's photos and everything. And we came within 10 feet of the bank, and he just freaking leapt off the raft. And for a brief moment, he was a fur submarine.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, same problem. So yeah, I'm holding the net, and I'm like, did my dog just jump off? And sure enough, he did. But he, he came back up, swam to shore, and said, "What are you guys doing? What's taking you so long to get here?"
Yeah.
It turns around on the bank looking at us like, why would you let me do that, you idiots? Just like his expressions, especially like with his ear positions,
Always.
just absolutely hilarious because he'd look at you like, I should have been supervised. Why would you let me do that?
Yeah.
Like, we told you not to. I don't recall.
Yeah.
I will say one thing, scanning back through, the 8 years or whatever I had with Archer, I was, kind of going back through all the photos and stuff. And I'll tell you what, that dog does not take a bad picture.
No.
Nah, not even a little bit.
Yeah, it's like every picture he's somehow like, he's kind of like, do you ever watch How I Met Your Mother where Barney Stinson never takes a bad picture?
Yeah, I've
Yes.
seen that.
That's
joke.
like what Archer is. Like, no matter what you do, it's like somehow he's always like in the perfect position and everything.
The only thing that I'll disagree with you on is when he's like going to chomp a ball. Then,
Well,
he's
then he
just
just looks-
moving way too fast. And
Yeah.
He's just a blur.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guarantee you he'd be like Barney Stinson in that aspect, though. And instead of taking a bad picture, he's somehow magically taking a proper photo.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he will be sorely missed, and opening weekend of Trout won't be the same without him.
Yes.
So we're all going to have to actually rely on our phones to wake us up. So
No.
Yeah, I actually came across a photo. I was going through my library the other day of just looking for pictures, after you gave me the news. And I was looking for one in particular, and I'm having a hard time finding it right this second. I was going to show you because I didn't show it to you. Or, I mean, it is on our, I think it's on our Instagram page. So there's a photo of you and I, Matt, standing in your driveway just for a height comparison, and you actually didn't realize how much shorter I am than you.
yep, did not.
And Archer does the most perfect photo bomb right in front of where the person's taking the picture. And it is a proper photo. It's hilarious. I'll have to find it.
Yeah, that was the one interesting thing. As I was going through the Archer things, I was, sending them to, I sent a couple to Pete that Pete and Archer had together, sent up Sean a bunch. And then, like, all of a sudden, Sean just started. Apparently, Sean was holding out on me all these years of Archer photos. Like, he's got, like, freaking video of him playing with the kids in the front yard in the snow and all kinds of
that's
stuff.
awesome.
So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's like,
Never a bad picture.
Nope. Just
I
sitting
don't know
there.
if this will show up in the camera, but never a bad picture. Archer just
Yeah, you can
walks in and photo bombs it perfectly.
Oh, hey guys, I'm here.
He was always the
Love
best.
that little knucklehead.
Yeah, he was a wonderful dog. Like I said, I couldn't have asked for a better fishing buddy or a better
Buddy in general.
best friend. Yeah,
Agreed.
because that dog and I did literally everything together. He's been
Yeah.
from Maine to Florida and Kentucky and literally everywhere in between.
Got a bone to pick with him on how he played tug of war.
You know what?
Wow,
that
yeah.
was that, if I could ever say anything negative about the way he was,
Keep cheap.
that would be the one thing. He took cheap shots.
He
That's
didn't
how I
take
take it.
cheap shots. He played to win, and he was just quicker at.
Everything.
He strategically repositioned his mouth over your hands so that he would win.
I still have the scar.
Well, at least he left you with something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and Sean both have scars from tug of war with Archer.
It was
He took his tug of war very seriously.
as
though.
he should, but that's like, he was already winning, and then he realized he was winning. And the quick backstory is I was playing tug of war with him with a 2x4, and he decided I went to readjust my hand, and he readjusted his mouth and clamped right down on the top of my thumb. And so I'm like, oh crap. And of course, I start like moving towards him to like get out of his jaws, and he immediately like clicks in his brain. He's like, oh, I'm winning now. I'm just going to put it in full reverse.
Yeah.
So I'm like chasing him around the yard with my hand in his mouth, and he is just loving it.
Ross was screaming in pain.
Yes. I'm like, hey, stop, quit it.
The one photo I just sent you guys is two photos actually of us on the boat, the pontoon boat, and one of them Ross is literally just holding him in the captain's chair, and then the other one is just the four of us, Archer obviously in the captain's chair as well, alongside Ross when he had his awesome beard, and we're just hanging out taking a proper photo.
I actually have a really sweet one of he crawled up on your lap at Beast.
In the chair.
In the chair,
Yeah.
And then I have another one of when you got up, he took your chair.
Yes.
This is mine now.
Classic Archer maneuver.
Yep. Oh, you're not using that anymore? Okay, I'm spoiled.
Yep. This is from. He fit everywhere, despite his.
He was a thin dog, but he was also a very long dog, and he surprisingly could curl up pretty tight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
No
hilarious.
question.
And also spread out as much as he wanted to. Like, there are many times that like he would just take up an entire couch just because he could.
Absolutely.
Then look at you like you're an idiot for wanting to sit down.
Yeah. Because I think I found one, him and Nick, on the old reclining couch,
Oh yeah.
and like they're both like passed out, and somehow Archer got the primo spot where the legs are, and so Nick's like stuck sitting at like a 45-degree angle to get his legs on the reclining portion.
He was persistent.
Yeah.
The only animal that was as stubborn as I was, that's for sure.
Yeah. Except you didn't throw up every time you would eat hot Cheetos off of the side counter or the kitchen table.
Oh yeah, sneaking up there.
Yeah, he'd be at an 11 if it wasn't for that megasophagus.
Yeah.
That dropped him down to a 10.
I'd still call it a solid 10.5 at least.
Yeah, that was his only flaw was a genetic condition.
Yeah.
That he dealt with pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, all things considered, poor boy always felt like he was starving because his esophagus didn't work, so he couldn't swallow. So he used gravity to get it down. But
Yeah.
And those are some of my fondest memories of him. Like, because when you'd feed him, you'd like hold him like a baby and like,
Yes.
Yeah.
literally just like sitting
Upright.
upright, and he'd just like either really enjoy it because dad's holding me, so I'm gonna love this, or
Dad, this is embarrassing.
yeah, like you can't do this in front of our friends. Like, put me down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he'd literally just sit on your lap for 20 minutes, half hour, just put his head on your shoulder and be like, okay, fine.
Yeah,
But yep, he will be missed.
absolutely.
Well, let's try this beer and hope it's good, and we'll dedicate it to the Archer Man.
I enjoyed it. For those that went to the Kentucky River Muskie Classic, it was in the cooler. For the two friends here that did not go to the Kentucky River Muskie Classic, I thought it would be nice for them to try it.
Ross is going to love it because it's for Archer.
Yeah, you son of a bitch.
Delicious.
I think Archer would have actually appreciated the Guinness more, but
Well, we can have one of those for him too.
yep, that seems better. Yeah, I had a lot of Macallans and a lot of every alcohol in the house on Sunday. So
As you should.
Yeah, rightfully.
yeah,
But no, so I guess we're done with that for a moment.
You can have the rest of that beer
oh okay, buddy.
in Archer's memory.
I assure you, it will be drank.
So on today's episode, we actually aren't going to only talk about negative things. So we're going to talk about some positive things. Opening weekend's coming up this weekend.
I was going to say, by the time this drops, though, it'll be the Sunday.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, this is the precursor.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, for most of you, for actually all of you listening, this will drop on Easter.
Yeah.
So you will have missed opening day of trout, but thankfully the flies we're going to be talking about will still be hatching.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Matt found, we actually went ahead and took a couple pictures. We're going to drop them into the video so you can see the actual flies as we're talking about them. Hopefully they come out well. But the first fly we're going to talk about is the Quill Gordon. Now, this is a very proper fly. I've used proper a few times, so I figured it was only rightful to
Proper?
do it now. It's a good fly. I've caught many a fish on it as a dry fly. It starts hatching about now, or already probably has once you listen.
Yeah, it's usually like in historical experience, it's a late March start.
Yeah.
It's one of the few dry flies that'll really be available opening day of trout season. There'll be a couple others, but the main focus will be on the Quill Gordon. It's a classic Catskill pattern. It hatches a little later in the Catskills, but it'll be a big fly up there.
Yeah.
And it's I've never done great on it because I really due to high school sports and in college sports, I never got a chance really to go out opening day very often. In fact, until the end of April was one of the first chances I could usually get out in season.
You're talking about your high school and college sports, or are you referring to your children?
No, mine.
Okay, just one clarification.
Yeah, well, it just I just never had a chance to get out. I have ample amounts in my box, however, so I'm ready this year. Whether I'll be able to get out and do it, I don't know yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, I guess my deadline for fixing the raft is fast approaching.
Yeah.
I don't think that might be the one thing Jim disowns you over is if we take the pontoon boat up Trout Stream.
I don't think. Well, maybe.
Oh, we could take it on some of the bigger rivers
Pine
up
Creek.
there. Pine Creek, we
Yeah,
probably
you
Pine
could
Creek, I
probably
think
take
we
it on
could.
Pine Creek. You
probably
could park it in the back and on the pool in the back.
Yeah.
I probably could.
make a little ramp down there.
I'm not sure how we'd get it, other than if we build a ramp. I'm not sure how we get it to or from, though, because there's some pretty skinny rapids between.
No, I'm just saying park it back there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Still couldn't get it down there.
His boat now. Oh, we can get it down. Up?
Yeah.
I think we actually technically probably could get it both down and up.
I'm sure there's where there's a will,
As long
there's
as
a
your
way.
truck's there to pull my truck when my truck gets stuck, like with the power of our trucks combined, or maybe vice versa, because you won't sink as much as I do.
My truck will probably be there too.
That's true.
Yeah, well, your truck won't sink as much as mine. Because the great problem I have is my truck sinks.
Well, my point is we'll have 3 trucks.
Yeah, we'll just make a long chain with tow straps, and we'll just stop the pontoon boat. Actually, that's not a bad idea to kind of just drop a fishing platform off the back for Big Jim.
Would they sell, like, you can find just pontoons with, like, rotted out plywood and just the frames left. It would not be hard to.
Oh, no.
skin
And I've thought of that many times. Steps to maybe not a platform, but a platform might be a good idea.
Yeah,
Like,
just
by God, man, I suggested steps years ago, and you're like, oh, no.
Well,
It's an enticement to other people to fish here.
Exactly
It
right.
is.
Yeah.
but there's
Many an old guy walks up and down that creek and probably thinks the same thing. Boy, I could really use a set of steps here.
we'll just have to put up like backstop netting when we're not there.
I actually think we should
Run it
just,
up on a flagpole real quick
Yeah.
so you just cannot bag cast at all.
I think we should just actually just build like a floating dock and anchor it to the shore. That way we can pull it out and put it out when needed.
I'm
Kind of like we tried to do at your sister's, and then
Except, like, do
got
it right.
overloaded by the
idiots.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it at all. It's
We'll
fun.
go with idiots, because I don't know if the engineer was involved in that design or if it was her husband that overrode it. Or
Yes.
the two hillbillies that showed up and were like, "No, man, that's not how you do construction."
Yeah, that was
What were you going to build?
We were trying to build a dock at the quarry.
because like they have a
Oh,
little.
okay.
We found Buddy had a couple of old pontoons that like they were going nowhere. The trailers didn't work, so we hauled one of them out of the yard and we just dropped it in the quarry. That's the one that's down there.
Uh-huh.
And there used to be a little dock with some 55-gallon drums underneath a
Yeah.
wooden platform, and they did not build it in the way that they should have. And Matt and I basically just like got tired of listening to them say we were wrong. So we're like, okay, you tell us what to do, and we're gonna knock this out in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And didn't work too well, but
Yeah, no, it basically, did not work at all, because the part attached to land actually stayed because it was staked. But then the other section, basically, I think every time we went fishing, we had to go recover it because it came disconnected, and the anchor cleats and whatnot came undone because they didn't actually nail the anchor cleats into anything solid.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was a crapshoot, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't be hard to do right at.
Uh-huh.
And that's I honestly I think it would be a great idea just for the fact of, boy, would that be fun to chuck mice off that thing.
Yeah.
Like,
We sacrificed too many to the trees.
yeah, well, there's
Wow.
'Cause
Yeah.
You've
Wow.
never done that, Coop.
Chuck mice?
At camp at dark.
No, I've
Oh, dude, it's a
not
hoot.
been able
Oh.
to partake in that.
Yeah, there's some big fish lurking in them there waters.
Oh yeah.
And but yeah, we took us there's half as many trees as there used to be, but I know when I cut the one tree down, I think I found like 3 or 4.
Talking about behind camp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 or 4 mice patterns in the one tree I
Oh, I'm sure.
took down.
I know exactly
What was
the
left
one.
of the mice patterns.
The biggest fly I've ever thrown behind camp was a grasshopper,
Yeah.
but it was the big yellow
Those
one.
big foamies.
Yeah, the big foam.
Well, what Ross and I used to do is we'd fish all day and then it gets dark. And, most
Really?
guys quit when it's dark. So then basically we'd go in, we eat dinner, have some alcohol,
No.
and then we'd go out. Instead of getting all dressed up in waders and whatnot, we'd stand on the bank at camp and try and cast and fish mice for trout.
Yeah.
And since we didn't get in the water, the trees were literally right behind us.
It
But-
worked all right for a couple of times, but we pretty much decided that we were going to need to clear the trees out before.
Hey, they're on their way.
Yeah. Well, it was just we couldn't get good action on it, and the
Yeah.
old.
I mean, I've missed a couple back there on the
Yeah.
mice.
Oh,
Well, we both caught a couple off mice.
Well,
back
we've
there.
also caught a couple, but yeah,
any size to them?
Oh,
yeah. I mean, they're trying to eat mice, so they're pretty
Yeah.
decent sized trout.
big browns.
Yeah,
What, 18, 20?
probably about that.
Yeah.
I know the one. There was that one that I had to chase downstream for you in the daytime.
Yeah, we probably caught him on a mouse.
Yeah, I'm reasonably certain. And then I caught one that was I'd call him a trophy trout. He was probably at least 22.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Browns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all browns.
How big was the comparably the one Ross is talking about to the one I had to net for you?
Very similar size.
No, the one you netted for me was probably 21. The one
Okay.
you got was 18.
Yeah. Okay.
Which doesn't sound like a big difference, but with a trout, 3 inches is
Oh,
massive.
yeah.
Well, I mean, because the one you netted, I never could get that son of a bitch out of the current. He literally was like, "Screw you, man!" Like I was well into my backing,
Yeah.
and he was literally swimming down the current, and it was like everything I do, I couldn't turn him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Break
assuming.
off?
No.
No, right? Ross went running downstream
Oh,
and
netted
netted him
Yeah.
like
The-
beyond camp.
Well,
Because
you had the click and pawl on, right?
no, I had my actual drag reel on.
Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna as soon as he hooked into him, there's that current that runs right along the bank.
the far bank.
The far bank, yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't even try and
Yeah.
go down or anything. He got hooked and he just dropped in the current and said, "I'm getting out of here." And there was so much line out that I don't think that he
Oh.
would have snapped it off at all just because there was so much.
Like,
Flex, yeah.
I drug him back from the end of the pool,
Yeah.
and Ross netted him behind camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Like he literally hit the current and said, "Screw this, I'm out of here," and was just.
That's a good.
Yeah.
I was well into my backing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it probably took me 15 minutes to reel in after Ross netted the thing.
yeah, to the point where I was holding on to his fly line just so things didn't get all kerfuffled going back into the reel. But that was a nice fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say.
Well, I had that fish break me off up there 3 or 4 years ago. And it was probably that fish the guy had up there at the market where it was 27 and some inches long and weighed 7 pounds.
That's
And the guy very plainly put it on his sign up at the store where it was laying out on ice, right where he caught it.
What a dick.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And that's why Cam's posted.
Yeah,
Yep. That's
Well, I mean, I remember sorry to interrupt.
no go
I
ahead.
remember because Alicia caught that 21-inch brook trout
yeah.
behind camp.
Enormous.
Yeah, for
Enormous
brook trout,
yeah.
absolutely. And then some jackass from Ohio fished behind camp, freaking caught it and kept it. And I think John
Yeah, John
ran
said-
into the guy. I was like, "What are you doing, man? We've all caught that fish. Put it back." And he's like, "Well, you all should have kept it."
Yeah,
Which don't get me wrong. Will I keep a trout? If I happen to kill it or whatever, if I'm really
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not going to release a fish that's going to die back into the water.
yeah,
Fair.
But if that thing is actively trying to get out of my hands when I'm unhooking it,
Yeah.
you're going back in.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not pretentious enough to keep that's a core memory for a child. That's a core memory for anybody who
Yeah.
would, actually takes the sport of fly fishing seriously.
Yeah.
I'm not going to rob people of that.
Oh, yeah.
It was the first goddamn fish Alicia caught.
Yeah.
Literally the first one. Yeah. Beginner's luck.
Golly.
Yeah.
No, she had a horseshoe up her ass. She shot at least an 8-point buck every year.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
But she married you, though.
I know.
Yeah.
Horseshoe.
Yeah, terrible judgment on her part. But, I mean, that was where her dad caught his first trout, too. Behind
Really?
camp. Yeah, he accidentally hooked into I think a rainbow because the neighbor stalked rainbows, and he was kind of like leaving his line drag in the water as he moved upstream, and a rainbow hit his line.
Yeah.
Smacking that emerger. Yep.
I actually always do that for that exact reason.
Well, because if you leave your if you leave your nymph or even your dry fly
Any
swing
fly in the water.
it seems like, oh, look, there's this fly stuck in the film like an emerger or whatever. And, if a nymph, it looks like an emerger because it's cracking off the bottom.
Yep. I shouldn't say always, but I do it at least behind camp and a few other places.
Oh, if it's deep enough.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we were talking about Quill Gordon.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there'll be a lot hatching behind camp this week.
What?
Not that anybody can fish there besides us.
Yeah. What size is what
12.
size is 12s is what
12
you'd
to
recommend?
14.
Okay.
All right, 12 to 14.
12 is what I would use on Kettle Creek. Probably 14 at camp because it's a little far south.
Well, so going through their life cycle, since we're going slightly more in depth to these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a question about that.
What's your question, buddy?
Oh boy. So as this fly actually before it is a fly on top water per
Talking
se.
about the nymph?
We can start there and then go up to the
Okay.
emergent side. Yeah.
Well, they all start out as a larva.
Well, yeah.
The nymph is...
What's the name of?
I don't think technically mayflies don't have a larval stage.
Yeah. Well, it's
Caddisflies will have more larvae
Yeah, a
than an
nymph.
adult.
A nymph is the underwater version.
true.
And most entomologists won't say there's a emerger. That's just a stage in its emergence, but it's still considered a larva or a pupa larva, a nymph until it breaks
until it flies and breaks the
until it
surface.
breaks the surface and comes out of its nymphal shell.
Yeah, so I mean the three main stages would be nymph, dun, and then spinner.
Yep.
Okay.
But in between for fly fishermen, there's the emerger pattern.
And that's a relatively new thing. I mean, probably even 25, 30 years ago, maybe a little farther back, no one ever heard of an emerger.
Yeah.
It's science. We know more things.
And now, because you imitate a stage between the nymph and the adult, that's kind of picked up that emerger, which I think is a very good position to be in because it's a very fishable portion of the hatch.
Oh yeah.
That takes a different fly than the nymph or the adult
Well,
to match it.
So, I mean, for clarification for our listeners, the emerger stage from a fly fishing perspective is it's the aspect where the nymph kind of lets go and says, cool, I'm going to the surface.
It's on its way to the surface.
And then basically the actual fly that flies in the air cracks out of the nymph's body. And so basically you're trying to hit that sweet spot in between the nymph and the fly.
You're trying to hit a very vulnerable area because the emerger, so to speak, is coming out of the nymph case.
Well, yeah, because it can't.
And then once it comes onto the surface of the water, it has to have its wings dry. And until it gets fully out of the water and gets its wings up, it's floating in that film.
Yeah.
And
But
it's very vulnerable.
Well, that's basically it. Is it lives between the two worlds that it's designed to live in at that moment? Because like nymphs can actually swim; they don't just drift; they can actually swim.
Some do, some don't.
Well, in general, the nymph stage is designed for underwater. The dun stage is designed for air,
Top water.
and basically what the emerger is the whole in between. Where
Yes, exactly.
I'm not good at water because I just shucked my nymph shell.
Yep.
But also my wings are wet, so I can't fly yet, and that's basically you're picking it up, or the trout are picking it off at its weakest point.
Yep.
So that's a good time to match, throw an emerger or whatever. But I mean, as far as nymphs go, for the Quill Gordon, I mean, your general rule of thumb is you're going to want like a general mayfly nymph pattern, like a hare's ear. Or like a pheasant tail, hare's ear in the natural color, pheasant tail also in the natural color.
There's an actually Quill Gordon nymph.
There you go. There's even a specific one.
I haven't really used those just because when I first
Same.
started getting into it, Quill Gordons were a dry fly for me.
Yeah.
But the more I've looked into flies, I've been interested in trying to find a couple more diverse like nymph patterns.
Well, see, it goes down the rabbit hole of do the fish actually care?
To an extent, I'd say.
Oh, I would say.
I mean,
Like-
if it's a mayfly nymph, do they actually care if? Oh, wait, that's a Quill Gordon nymph. Yum yum yum.
Right, but that might be a and to tell you the truth, I really just should get one of those etymology books and see the different stages of all these, but like shape, size, color is
Yeah,
for me the biggest things to worry about for
It's what-
any.
I think genus is the big one
Yeah.
to separate from caddis or whatever. But
Yeah, but like if say the Quill Gordons are like coming off and the nymphs just happen to look gray and we're throwing black nymphs, like
Well, they are gray, actually.
oh, look at that.
I was going to say the other thing with fishing for the nymphs is a lot of waters where you have Quill Gordons, blue wing olives, March browns, etc. Is there's also other mayfly nymphs.
Oh, there's
So
lots of mayflies.
maybe that's why like your preferred patterns would be like the pheasant tail or the hare's ear, because it's like, hey, I'm a generic mayfly nymph.
Yeah.
Well, at the same time, I mean, I've seen fish just concentrating on a certain mayfly.
But
Yeah.
that's above surface.
Well, it could be underneath too. I mean,
Well, it could be happening underneath, but I'm pretty sure you haven't seen it.
Underneath the
I've
water.
seen the fish
Yeah.
only taking, for instance, the blue quills. Like I said, I've never fished the Quill Gordon that much because I'm just not on the water. But I've seen them when the Hendricksons are hatching, which are a much bigger fly than the blue quills. Yet if you throw a Hendrickson down through there, which everyone would think because they're hatching,
Yeah.
they don't nothing. Put a couple of blue quills on, and you can catch fish all day up there. I've seen that happen.
Yeah, that was like, especially like when we're sitting there and you can watch fish feeding underneath the water, and we're sitting there nymphing, and like that's what Cooper, Matt, and I will do a lot is we'll each tie on a different nymph.
Sure, and that's a smart thing to do.
And
I think we actually go every time we go. Not every time, but early in the season when we're able to go together, that's what we do.
yeah, we make a point to make sure we're hitting
Yeah,
as many of the different water columns and different
Sure.
like kinds of nymphs as we can. But like that's one of those things that like you're looking at it, and if you're just going out and doing this yourself, like it might be real wise for you to like just go through your fly box and hey, they're feeding, like they're gonna eat something. Let's just keep throwing this through here to see what we can get.
Yeah, when you're by yourself, it may be a
Time consuming process.
wise idea to rotate nymphs more
fish 2 or 3
frequently.
flies at a time.
Well, I don't like fishing more than one fly at a time. Personally.
I've never been fond of that, but I've had fished 2 flies on occasion, and what that will tell you is if you have a light and a dark nymph,
Sure,
Yeah,
that,
or a
that
big and a
makes
small nymph, that'll clear things up pretty quickly.
yeah. I mean that makes sense. I don't like fishing multiple flies
I don't
because
either.
every time I catch a fish on multiple flies, they always hit the top one and then wrap themselves in the
Yep.
second one and then hook themselves foully with the second fly. So then you have to pull it out of the trout and sit there for 10 minutes unwrapping the 24 inches
Yeah.
of meat or tippet or whatever. So
I
I don't
know.
like doing that. But I mean, if you're by yourself and not running multi, it might be like, hey, I know there's fish in this run. We're going to try a half a dozen casts with this nymph. It may be a good time to switch frequently until you figure out the nymph they're actually eating. Jesus.
Gonna make it.
Maybe.
I usually go with depth first, because more times than not, I don't like to sling lead.
Yeah.
But if you're just floating unweighted nymphs, then you've got to adjust your float or something to get the flies down a little farther, and that's usually where I go wrong. I don't get deep enough right off the bat.
Yeah.
Well, that's one lesson I learned is basically I throw well upstream.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm, say, for instance, the run is literally in front of me, it's 10 feet long, 5 feet to my left, 5 feet to my right. I'll throw 20, 30 feet upstream and let it come down through the run.
Yeah.
Actually, that gives the nymph plenty of time to get down.
Well, I
Mend
was
the hell out of it.
Huh?
Just mend the hell out of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
was-
a lot of the mending's easy because it's just, you're almost fishing straight up and down. So
Yeah.
usually pretty easy, but
I was fishing a stream up near Kettle Creek, not all that many years ago now, and if you could tell that I picked up a couple trout, I cast up into the riffles, it floated in the riffles, and bang, I had one. And this guy walked up, watched me fish for a while, and walked up above me, irritating me to no end, of course,
Dick.
because I was going upstream. But the guy was up there, and he fished a run and then looked at me, saw that I was coming, so he hurried up to the next run.
Uh-huh.
And so I wasn't
Nick.
going to say anything. But when I was kind of walking by him, and I watched him, and the riffle come down and rolled right off the edge, and this guy was casting right to the riffle.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at him, and I said, you should be casting a couple of feet above that riffle,
Yeah.
so the fly has a chance to get down. I says, right now you're hitting the sweet spot, but the fish are at the bottom and your fly's up here, and by the time the twains would meet, it's way beyond the fish.
Right.
So this guy we started a little conversation. He wasn't a bad guy. I think he was not a very experienced guy, and kept jumping in front of me, which I didn't particularly like.
Well, eventually you run into the hopscotch game
Oh, yeah.
where you're jumping people. I'm sure people don't like running into us on the stream.
Oh, I'm sure.
No, because I will take up real estate.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
in fairness, like when we jump, it's usually three of us jumping.
Yeah.
But it's also like, hey, we were here hours before you showed up, buddy.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
seems like a you problem.
Yeah, for a little stream etiquette for our listeners, like if you're gonna fish around somebody, and like one, at least have the common decency to like talk to somebody if you're gonna be
Yeah.
fishing right next to them.
Agreed.
In my humble opinion, like if somebody comes up and says, "Hey man, I'm just getting here. Like, where'd you hit? Do you mind if I hop in?" The common courtesy for me would be enough to be like, "Yeah, man, hop in wherever."
Well,
Instead of you fishing the sweet hole and then him charging in 10 yards above or 10 feet above you.
Right.
Yeah.
That, and if you don't know anybody and you don't feel like talking to somebody, nobody in the fly fishing community is going to look at you funny if you drop in below them.
absolutely below.
Like, that's, you might get
Maybe
a little,
maybe a wet fly swinger.
maybe, but that's, if you come up to somebody and you want to drop in and fish the same spot, if you go below somebody, you're going to have a much better day than if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
stand right above them.
I mean, I will say, because you and Cooper learned from me and I learned from Jim, and it's basically like, I mean, we've all been there where it's basically like some guy drops in ahead of us and I'm pretty much, fuck this shit. We're heading half a mile upstream.
Oh, yeah, we beat feet, which I like. That's
Yeah. Well, a couple stories about that, if I'm allowed to tell some
Yeah, please.
stories. Jim and I were up at camp, and we were in the backyard, and it was the day I was telling you about how the granums were so heavy. And they finally petered out up behind camp, and I said, let's see if we can get up ahead of the hatch. We'll go upstream farther. So we went up, and we were in the fishing project farther upstream.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell it was diminishing already. There weren't nearly as many flies. They're getting less and less. But Jim and I, we hopped down. I let him have the bottom of the pool this time, and I took the top part of the pool. And we were fishing there, and I think Jim actually picked up a couple. I didn't catch any more. But I was standing there, and his pool...
You're really good at hitting the mic today.
Yeah, I know. I haven't missed yet. I was fishing, and I heard a car pull in, and then gravel where somebody had walked over, and I looked up, and kids, is you guys doing any good? And I said, the hatch is pretty much petering out. I said, it's pretty much done. And he says, do you mind if I get down in between you two guys? And I looked at him, and I said, well, my drift goes down to him, and his drift goes farther. His cast comes upstream. And I said, there is nowhere in between us.
Yeah.
And the guy said, well, I'm sure I won't get in your way. And it was a young guy in a Jeep with all the fancy stuff on it.
And the ducks.
I don't know.
It was
what
probably
that-
before that.
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
probably before that.
But I said, well, no, I don't want you. And I mean, Jim looked and his mouth was down. And I said, no, I don't want you to come in between us. I said, if you want to go to another nice pool, you'll find granums.
Yeah.
Just go right upstream. I said, there's a nice run up there. And I said, if there'd have been somebody here, that's where I'd have been at.
Right.
And the kid looked at me and says, oh, okay. I said, well, sorry. And he goes, no, I understand. And then walked downstream. And when you're in the granums fishing in the rapids and the riffles and the deep runs, and all that was down there was a long flat. And I'm thinking, now, why in the hell would that kid walk totally the opposite kind of... And he walked down there, and you could tell he was just moping around, kicking rocks and stuff down there. Never made a cast that I saw.
I don't
come
understand
walking
that.
back out.
Ruined his whole day.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I don't get that. It's like, why would you ask?
Well, Jim said at
go-
least he asked.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
just didn't crawl down off the bank and get in there, which happens most of the time.
But to ask to go between the two of you is absurd
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, that's
It's just so random.
Yeah.
that's
Well, there were a few fish coming off, and they were coming off in the pool, which is a heavy riffle. The flies were coming off in the pool, and then a slight riffle.
yeah.
And that's where Jim was at, and he caught two. And that's frankly where I had been at, too, down behind camp. So, but I don't know. But Jim says, at least he asked.
Yeah.
And I said he probably won't ask again because he got to know.
Well, that's another thing about asking. People are allowed to tell you no.
Right.
That's part of asking.
Yeah.
Don't be
No,
surprised.
it's also better than not asking and just pissing everybody off that they want to fight you in the parking lot.
Yeah, but then you get to fish where you wanted to fish, I guess.
Well,
So
you think.
well,
Well, I was up in Kettle Creek one
I've known
year.
some people to be dickheads and totally spoil dickheads like that's fishing. So,
you talking about me?
well, probably the both of us.
That's,
Yeah,
Well, there was-
turns out Clousers on trout streams where I'm snagging your fly line and your freaking nymph because you're an asshole and decide to drop in 10 feet below me. Yeah, that's your problem, not mine.
it's like, oh, strip set. Sorry, I thought I had a fish and just
I went to entangle it and I cut it. Damn it.
cut your line all the way off. Oh my goodness.
Well, I
We've
was
both
up
done
in the spring one year, and we were up on Kettle Creek, and we were on the pool way above the campgrounds, but you could walk to it. And I would walk up the fishing the whole way, and I get up to this pool, and it was busy. There was always somebody in this pool. Multiple people use the time. And I get up there. It's about 8 o'clock. It's about 15, 20 minutes of daylight left, and there's nobody here. It was actually a Sunday night, so most people had gone home for the weekend.
Yeah.
perfect.
And as soon as I got there, you could see trout rising everywhere. So I don't know if I even made one cast. And this kid pops out, and I'm sure he was the same thing. He had looked at this pool all weekend, saw it was crowded, and figured, well, tonight I'll get down there and look at it. So he come out there, and I saw him, made my first cast, and it was floating down. And I heard him say something, but I couldn't tell what it was. And this pool was round. And so he could be down at this corner, or I was at this corner, and we'd have both been thrown towards the middle.
Yeah.
But he kind of hesitated, and I think I caught a fish, and I was playing a fish in, and then he cast because I was playing a fish.
Right.
And pretty soon we started talking, not angrily or anything, but we just started talking. And then the kid says, "Well, you were here first, so I'm letting you at least have the first shot at the pool."
Yeah.
And I thought that was, most of the times if that would happen, I'd go find another pool. I wouldn't bother. That guy was there first. It's his pool to have. Even a pool as relatively large as this one. But and then the funny thing was, I think I caught 2 or 3, and he caught 2. We were down at the bar that night, 10:30 at night down at the Cross Fork. I guess I can say it, Cross Fork Cafe, and we started up a hell of a conversation. For 2 or 3 years. We ran into each other up there.
That's awesome.
And but then I don't think one of us quit. We missed the rotation,
Oh, okay.
and then I never saw him again.
It happens.
Yeah, but it was just one of those things. It could have been an ugly moment, and it kind of worked things out.
I like those better.
Yeah,
When it all works. Like, I'm out there to enjoy myself.
yeah.
And, like, spin fishermen are the worst at it.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is why I like fishing the fly projects. But, like, there's been a couple times. Well, Matt was with me. Like,
I do not recall the events in question, and I will not stand for these wild allegations.
well, no, I was being the jerk. No, there was a spin fisherman that comes up, and we were at a local stream, and, like, we're fishing. We're catching, we're not, like, ripping them out every cast, but we're catching some fish, and spin fisherman comes up literally off of my right hip. And when we're just sitting there looking like, hey, man, we're fishing here. Like, what's going on? Oh, it's a free country. You fly fishermen don't own the street. Blah, blah. So Matt and I were like, well, we hit this run enough. Like, we're just going to beat feet up. And, Matt, showing good fly fishing etiquette, exits the stream and starts walking up the bank. and I just walked up the middle of the run.
You fucking cocksucker.
The fly fishermen aren't real people in my opinion.
Yeah.
But like
Spin fisherman.
Spin
no,
fisherman.
yeah, spin fisherman. Sorry, no, but like it, and that was like I turned around after I got a little bit of probably out of casting distance.
Did you do like the Betty Boop? Like,
I kind of turned.
I forgot there's a camera.
I turned around and like made sure, and there was a pretty clear water conditions, and like all I can see is just a giant swath of like.
Did the guy even know you did it?
Oh, he knew because he was
did
like
he
real.
know it meant anything to his fishing?
Yeah, he looked up at me and like it looked like he was gonna say something, but like
Yeah.
So
I'm just turning around at the top, going like, "Well,
For
my
our-
mistake."
For our fellow fly fishermen, your greatest piece of defense fly fishing is the fact that you require a whole metric crap ton of line out to cast in either, up your forward cast or your back cast. Our greatest weapon is the Clouser minnow.
Yeah,
Bob Clouser, genius.
from Pennsylvania as well.
Yep, from
Harrison.
Pennsylvania, designed for the fly for the Susquehanna. That fly backs everybody off because it turns out those really hard lead eyes and giant like 2-aught pointy hook.
That
Well,
I'm not saying I advocate for hitting people. I'm just saying it may happen accidentally.
yeah.
That's our legal
Or
disclaimer.
get really close to it.
Or get really close to the oh sweet Jesus, that was really close to my head. And it's like, sorry, dude, I don't own the stream.
That's I
Free
do
country.
Yeah.
when I go steelhead fishing. If there's people jamming up on me, like, I act like it's my first time fly fishing, and there is just line going everywhere.
It's like, oh God, oh God,
I don't
no.
How do I do this?
He's doing spay casting and like the wide D, the dragon, whatever the hell the other one
Do a figure eight.
Oh, it's flying everywhere, and like a couple of times I did it. There were a couple older gentlemen up there that were fly fishing, and I caught a couple out of the run or whatever, and I walked up, and one of the older guys, he was sitting on the side, and like he's chuckling as I'm walking past, and he's like, "Yeah, I watched you after you got done like putting on your display down there." He's like, "You've been doing this for a while, haven't you?" Like, yeah, and he's like, "That's a real good idea there." It's like really entertaining to watch. But well,
I was wondering one year, we were up there, had done our annual spring trip, and we were coming home. And there's one stream that we've got to cross on a bridge. And it's about halfway home. But we pulled up on the bridge and we stopped and we looked, and the trout are just going crazy. So Jim says, "What do you think?" And I said, "Well, they're trout rising. I think it's time to go fishing."
Agreed.
So we went, turned around, come back and parked. And we went down, and I went right down to the very end of the pool because I could get out easy in the dark. That's why I went down there.
yeah.
And first or second cast, I caught a nice fish. And then a couple of casts later, and I caught, I think it was a 16-inch brown, and I was playing it in, and a guy comes walking over to the bank, and he says, "You doing any good?" And then he saw me. I didn't net the fish. I picked it up out of the water and unhooked it.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy goes, "Holy hell."
You're fighting a war over there. With
I know. It's
You and him both, apparently.
yeah.
I did it one time.
But anyway, the guy vanishes, and I told Jim, "Well, he'll be here in a minute." He brought like his whole family. There was like 6 or 7 of them.
Oh God.
Come over to the bank, and the next thing you know, all these spinning. I never caught another fish.
All the rooster tails go flying.
Yeah, the
out.
rooster tails, the gurglers. I mean, they were all in. Jeez. And I never caught another fish.
Be less Italian.
I always talk with my hand.
No,
I know,
you're-
but you're not Italian. What the heck?
the punches landed though. Like you're doing better than Manny Pacquiao right now. It's fantastic. Well, we want to take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about what blue wing olive's the next fly, right?
Well, we didn't actually finish the Quill Gordon. We got very distracted, so maybe we'll hit the quick highlights of when to fish, et cetera, and then we'll dive into the blue wing olive.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan to me.
So, yeah, as always, we're never on schedule.
That's all right.
See you guys in a few.
Yeah, welcome back to Dangerous Fly Fishing, episode 75. I'm Chris Cooper. That's Jim Carney.
Hello there. How are you?
Good, thank you. Also, we have Mr. Ross Lyskoka as well as Matthew Carney.
Hello. How you
Hello.
doing, buddy?
Hello.
Hello. Don't need to ask how you're doing. We already covered it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, not gonna go through it again.
Yep. Not the best, but
Yeah.
carry on.
Doing better.
So, well, that's good. No.
It was very cathartic to have everybody share their memories of the fur torpedo.
Oh yeah,
So I appreciate that very much.
absolutely.
Yeah, I actually brought. I didn't bring. I forgot. I have a patch for you. I'll give it to you another time.
Okay.
Yeah, fur missile. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
It's an awesome patch.
Cool.
But before we got onto our tangents and talked about things and stuff in regards to fishing, which good for us, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what the podcast is about.
Right.
I believe what you're going to say next is we only made it halfway through Quill Gordon.
Yeah, we barely. I think we said the name maybe twice of Quill Gordon's, and then we kind of just moved on to random stories.
We talked about a little bit of what they are. But Matt, do you want to give us a quick recap just to make sure we didn't miss anything?
Well, apparently I stacked up too many beer cans at the power cord area.
That's all right.
So basically, they typically hatch early afternoon. So good time to target. Going to be a Quill Gordon hatch, usually early afternoon. At that point, you're going to be want to swing in emergers and duns.
Okay.
For those unfamiliar with duns, those are the ones where the wings are up because they're floating on the surface.
So that is
just
right.
to decide, in the springtime, that's when most of your hatch activity takes place after lunch.
Yeah, because that's the water warms up enough
Warms
that
up
they actually
enough,
hatch
correct,
because
yeah.
the water's generally pretty cold.
Just pointing it out.
Yep.
I want to address. I'm assuming that is also weather permitting to a point, temperature wise.
Temperature wise,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, basically, most of your hatches are going to be based on. I mean, they're probably more so than it's April 3rd. You
Right,
should definitely.
right.
This is when I should hatch. It has more to do with. Oh yeah, the water temperature is 43.8 degrees. Go.
Yeah.
Like on opening day, we get a random frost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be a little bit of a delay, if not no hatch at all.
Possibly. Usually, I mean, the trout stream's kind of average. I mean, behind camp, it's a spring-fed creek, so it's pretty much year-round.
Right.
Which, in that case, I guess it actually would be maybe barometric pressure or something else that causes the hatches to trigger if it's basically the same water temperature year-round. But so yeah, in the early afternoon, you're going to want to fish in the dry fly pattern of a Quill Gordon. Also, good chance to also use wet flies or an emerger pattern because that's when they're going to be hatching.
Yep.
Basically, they swarm and then do their little dance, aka the chicka wow wow.
Explain a swarm.
A crap ton of them flying around in the air.
They're looking for nature.
Looking for love.
opportunities.
Yeah, looking for love. Good definition there, Father. And in which case, then basically they go back down to lay their eggs basically any time after they hatch through evening.
Yep.
Typically, they lay their eggs in faster water because they are a boulder, gravel, fast water type nymph. They're not a eddy type nymph, so they're probably going to lay their eggs in the rapids. Granted, they may drift a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's generally where you're going to lay because they like, gravel. They don't like mud bottom. They're not a mud dweller.
Okay.
So they like, the gravel, the rocky bottoms. So
Got
that's a good place to target. Throw your spinners up in the rapids, let them drift down because that's where they're basically going to expire and die after laying their eggs and then drift through. So yeah, your big muddy eddies, not a great place to target the Quill Gordons.
Well, a lot of times the spinners will mate and then will fly up in trees or be up in trees before the mating takes place. So it may be a day or two after they hatch.
Okay.
Before they come back to the stream, and they have their mating dance, and then they fall, and then the males follow afterwards. It's not just the female. So most times you have a male and a female component.
Okay.
To a spinner fall, and spinner falls are very common, but I've had very few that I've actually had a chance to fly fish to, and they're usually towards the evening. And I know when we fished up on Kettle Creek, our key to when the spinners would fall was when the birds started flying around. And the swallows would just be going crazy up on Kettle Creek. And then the bats would join in as it got darker and darker. But
yeah, I mean, a spinner falls basically they're flying around, dropping their eggs and whatnot. Then they literally just give up the ghost and drop.
Fall in the water.
Basically just go, and wings are generally sideways. They're not upright anymore.
Yep.
So they're generally sideways, and they're just done.
The only real good spinner fall I've ever fished was in the morning when there were a lot of dead flies still floating along the edges,
Okay.
and the trout were eating those, and that was up at camp.
Yeah.
And
there's a big eddy behind camp. But,
yeah,
I
but
mean,
this was on our bank.
which is where the eddy is.
Well, what's on the other side then?
Also an eddy.
Okay.
A deep pool on the other side.
The other one's much deeper. The eddy on our side of the camp was very shallow, that the trout were lining up there. And that's the only time that I've ever had a real good. A couple times I've caught fish on spinners towards the evening. But it's, and some guys just talk about how great the spinner falls are, and they've done great. And I had one half-decent night up on Kettle Creek. I had given it up. I hadn't done very well, and I was tromping my way back to the parking lot before the day's fishing was done, because I always fished 9:30. I mean, I always fished until you couldn't see your fly anymore.
Right.
But I was walking by one stretch on Kettle Creek, and it was just boiling. And I caught a couple, not great, but there was, at that point in time, there was too many flies on the water, and which one the trout would pick, it wasn't mine very often.
Well, that's one of the things I've heard about spinners is when they're all coming back down, that's a good time to hit, like, float dry flies through seams
Uh-huh.
a lot. Like, which, of course, in any fly fishing, seams are always a good spot to fish.
Right, sure.
But I've heard things off of more dry fly purists that, like, once they start noticing that everything's falling back down to the water, throwing it just on the edge of the current. So, like, when the flies are dead, obviously they're not going to move on their own accord. And throwing them just on the edge of the current and letting them get caught in the slow water, that eddy. People have had a lot of success doing that. I don't fish dry flies as much as I probably should, but little point of wisdom that I've heard from a lot of people about if you notice this is an actual spinner fall, that would be a good time to, like, make the fly look like it's not alive anymore and get caught up in the slower water.
Right.
A lot of the trout will be parked right underneath where those seams are.
Yeah, I've been very prepared for spinner falls, but can't ever say I've only had one or two even minimally successful.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
I did have a tip that I've been meaning to do it for years. Like, you see all those river scenes signs, SEINE. Screen.
Yeah.
So, like,
That's what I thought you were referring, but I was kind of waiting for you to actually confirm that's what you were talking
yes.
about.
I pronunciation on French words is atrocious. So, but
Peanut butter, roof of the mouth.
yeah, but no, like, so you see a lot of these professional fly fishermen that they all highly recommend bringing out a screen into the river and sticking it in. But I mean, for me, I tried to be not minimalist when it comes to the gear that I bring out, but I don't like a lot of gadgets hanging everywhere off of me. It frustrates me. So, nice little handy $5 tip that may really improve your fly fishing. Go up to Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever your local hardware store is, and buy the 5-gallon bucket paint screens.
I thought that's what you were going to say.
I gave you that tip.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. And I heard it via Tom Rosenbaumauer.
I don't remember any of these events in question.
I'm pretty sure we discussed it quite a few episodes ago. And I will not stand for these wild allegations.
Neither will I. Either way, point of the story is, you can go out and buy the gadget off the fly fishing stores and spend $30 for a piece of screen. But I finally went out and actually did it and just grabbed that 5-gallon bucket paint strainer, throw it right over your landing net.
It's a sieve.
A sieve. Thank you. Yeah, for some reason they put a freaking N in there.
Well, it's a scene. That's what it is.
Scene. So it's the same word.
Yeah.
Either way.
Wait a minute.
Point of the story is
Frenchies.
Point of the story is grab that paint strainer. It's just a fine mesh bag. Make sure you get the elastic ones and just throw it over your landing net, and now you have a very nice portable, packable screen that you can actually dip down into the water and see what's either hatching or what's in its nymphal stage. Bonus points if you want, have your buddy walk upstream a couple feet of you and just stick it right on the bottom and have him Like you don't even have
Scuffle
to
his feet.
kick stuff up just with him walking.
For definitional clarification,
Yes.
a seine is basically a casting net type style thing where it's vertical, where you drop it and then it encloses and brings up.
Okay.
A sieve is horizontal, where you use a wire or plastic mesh held in a frame to strain.
Strain, yes. You don't strain fish or mayflies or anything else.
You do strain because you get caught in the freaking plastic mesh.
But they get caught.
Yeah, that's literally the definition. So
Not
it's a
what
sieve.
you just read.
It's a sieve, not a seine. Just
Either
saying,
way.
definitionally, it's a sieve.
This whole time when you were talking about scene, I thought we were talking about your brother.
I know, right? Very confusing. Very confusing.
Either way, $5. They come in a pack of 2.
Yeah.
It will dramatically increase your odds of actually detecting what's hatching in the stream instead of you just trying to figure it out on your own.
So that turning the rock doesn't work so great is what you're saying.
You can do that.
Not as good as the scene.
Like, yeah, of course, walk over, grab a rock, pick it up, but I would rather just dip my net down into the water and catch and let the stream do the work for me. Plus, if they're underneath a rock, they might not actually be coming out yet.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
Fair.
Yeah, I actually have a couple of those paint strainers at home because I had some old paint that I needed to not be all clumpy.
Yeah.
And I used it, and I poured it from that said bucket into a Lowe's bucket with the paint strainer. So I still have like 1 or 2 left over, and
Yeah.
I'm actually going to use that tip. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. For $5, you can't beat it. And especially like a lot of the other ones that you'll find like are hard to pack into a fly bag. And I know
Yeah.
for all of us, our fly bags and or vests are chocked to the brim with everything
Indeed.
else we need. So
I
Yeah,
used to. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say they fold up very easily, these strainers. So that was all I was saying.
Oh, okay. Well, I back when I was really into the entomology thing, I mean, I had collection bottles with formaldehyde, and I was catching mayflies and putting them in there and doing all that stuff, so I needed a better way to catch them. So my mom and dad made new window screens, and they had some screen left over.
perfect.
And I took a couple of sticks, stapled them on with this screen, rolled them up, put them in my vest, and I went out on the stream and kicked the stuff and collected a bunch of nymphs and put them in a jar. And I realized one flaw in my plan.
What's that?
What the hell was this bug? What the hell was this bug? I could separate them. I could put them in jars, and then when I looked at them, I could kind of guess what a couple of them were. And what I was doing was dumping them into jars, putting them in formaldehyde, and then over the winter, I'd open them up and tie up flies that matched them pretty close.
Makes sense.
So I think Ross's point with that whole thing is just to do it right then and there, get a nymph, and then match it right then and there instead of. I know you were saying you got into it pretty more
flies.
seriously and tie actual flies, but he was talking about just scraping off the bottom, grabbing a nymph or whatever he caught in that strainer at that time, and doing it right then and there.
Well, science has come much further that we now know the hatches, so you can be prepared and have the nymphs in question on hand.
Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
that's
Just
what Ross is doing.
match
You're,
it,
you're
whatever.
back before we actually knew what
Well,
the actual patterns were.
And then what happened?
You were discovering new things.
Well, they were
Science.
named, but I didn't know them because you couldn't find books or anything with them in there.
Right.
But what ended up happening, I used to look at these flies in the jars. I had them here for a little while, but then all of a sudden the flies, Baldacchino's fly shop, had packets of dubbing that were matched to everything. Now, they didn't always match up. When I told you about the blue quills last time, now that didn't match up. And I was a little leery about some other things. But I've got dubbing in there now that's, blue quill, Hendrickson, red quill, Yellowstone. I mean, they're already named. You didn't have to go look them up. You didn't have to try and dye your own because he now had it going.
Right.
And so I kind of got out of the way from the formaldehyde and stuff like that.
That's all right.
Yeah, probably better off for you.
I'm sure it was better. I was better off because I still had to decide which fly was which, and it was tough.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of those things that I'm gonna in my pastimes here. Like I'm doing more streamer fishing this year, and
Uh-huh.
I'm going to include wet flies because it's almost the same technique.
Yeah.
But like that's one of those things that I'd like to try and do this year in the pastime when I'm out on the stream, like catch a couple from local streams and
Yeah.
bring them home. And I mean, I have enough fly tying resin that I'm sure I can just put a little dollop on them and UV cure them real quick, and then
Yeah.
I can have like hey, here's the bugs from this stream, here's the
Yeah.
bugs from this stream.
Yeah.
Might be a cool little collection. I don't know. Either way, blue wing olives are next, right? Matt?
Yeah.
Yes, in fact, they are. Thank you. That's a great segue.
Great
Russ.
segue.
It's not
Great.
not one of my better ones, but
It was
Now
not,
we're
but
here.
you know what? It got us redirected. So, blue wing olives may be a bit of a mystery because they are one of the least defined mayfly hatches. They may or may not consist of multiple species that everybody defines as blue wing olive.
makes sense.
I already checked. He's on slightly elevated in blood sugar, not low.
He's excited.
Not sure how that works.
But so like I've heard off of various people, like you were saying, that like blue wing olives it's one of the most geographically diverse hatches
Yeah, they're pretty much found throughout
everywhere.
all of North America.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Canada, if you count them in North America.
Yeah, it turns out they are actually part of North America. But yeah, like I said, they're kind of like the one that's basically everybody sees a fly with an olive body and bluish wings that everybody defines as a blue wing olive.
Makes
Turns out maybe a whole bunch of species, but
Yeah.
hence they hatch multiple times per year and everything.
Yeah.
So-
they just happen to look very similar.
Yeah, bit confusion there. I think generally, I believe they're called the Baetis,
Okay.
the Baetis.
Yeah. Betas.
Yeah, so that's like the general name for them. And like I said, it may be a whole bunch of different species, but that's just what we're calling them.
That makes sense. I mean, if they all look at least
Yeah.
reasonably similar, in my
Yeah.
mind, I'm not a scientist enough to
Yeah, I mean,
differentiate.
they're the one that like you can see 3, maybe 4 hatches of them throughout the spring to fall season.
Right.
Generally, they're going off early, mid, late, like generally a morning. I mean, you've also, depending on conditions, afternoon, evening, etc.
Yeah, a cooler water temp, I think is.
Yeah, I mean they're an early one, hence they're also like you see them in the fall because they're also tolerant of like as we're dipping into winter, you may see a blue wing olive hatch.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean they're kind of and the universal tool of fly fishing is because like if there's a mayfly going off, I'm not sure what it is. Throw on a BWO and see what happens because they go off a couple times, and when the trout are keyed into them. They are keyed into them.
Yeah,
That's the first time I've ever heard somebody say BWO for a blue wing.
Oh,
olive,
that's
to be honest.
Seriously?
The first time. I always just said the name straight up every time. I don't know
Oh,
why,
yeah. BWO is like their fun little acronym.
yeah.
It's the future now, buddy. Come on.
Yeah.
Get with the
Get
time.
with it.
I should know better. I was in the military.
Yeah. And you have all kinds of acronyms.
I never knew any of them.
Uh-uh.
I was always late.
I mean, like one of the interesting things with the blue wing olives, they're one that you can definitely float like a bunch of merger patterns for fun reasons. Because one, you have the traditional mayfly merger pattern, but you also blue wing olives actually swim to the bottom to lay their eggs.
You told me that right before we were doing this, and I never knew that, which is
Yeah, so you can also fish in a merger pattern or a wet fly pattern, like as the hatch concludes, because basically they swim or / crawl to the bottom, lay their eggs, then give up the ghost. In which case, then
And
they float
float
up. You
back
can catch
up.
them in the film, and you get their spinner phase. But yeah, you can fish a merger or wet fly pattern on both sides of the blue wing olive hatch.
which like
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
yeah, one that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like that one somebody has taken the time to figure this all out. Like
They're called entomologists.
yeah, God bless them because that's
I mean, that would be all right. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be kind of a cool job, and maybe mistakes were made in my life. Maybe not though, because I feel like
Probably
they don't
not.
get paid well. But
never. If depends what fly fishermen are interested in finding out what bugs are, they'll pay through the nose for it.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong there.
He
But-
would know.
So there's the one guy there's the one entomologist that's paid really well, and the rest of them not so much.
It's actually like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
There's that one guy, and he just recruited all these other guys below.
So when I die, you're going to take over the entomologist mantle.
But no, kind of now knowing that they will swim down from the surface film down to the bottom, that might be a really interesting way to fish them. Is kind of not high stick it, but
I'm thinking about tying a dry fly pattern with a bead head.
like
I was actually gonna.
yeah, like a wet fly almost. Like you might be able to just like hold on to your line, let it swing up, let a little slack down, let it drop back down, pinch it, let it swing back up, let a little more go down.
Yeah, like a swimming type action?
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see if that would work.
Well, I mean, blue wing olives are supposedly one of the better swimming nymphs.
Yeah.
So my question's gonna be: is the blue wing olive the ultimate purpose of a dry dropper?
So dry.
Like, would that be the best fly pattern to use as a dry dropper? Because it does both the things. It's gonna do both the things.
I would say yes if you're fishing both a dry and a nymph of a blue wing olive.
Or
Correct. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Or even a wet fly, a dry and a wet fly.
Yeah.
Either way, that's exactly what I'm saying.
I think if you were going to, that would probably be one of the better patterns to do it with.
Makes sense.
I can't find any
Knowing
arguments
now
against it.
now we know what I know now.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It does make sense. I will say, typically when you float a dry dropper, though, your dry is serving more of a strike indicator than a target.
Yeah. Well, I've caught fish using it as a strike indicator.
Well, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying usually
it's not its original purpose.
Yeah, its original purpose is like that's where you throw like your Chernobyl ant with like a blue wing olive wet fly, something like that.
Yeah, I get that. But why not use it to its advantage? And
you bring up a very interesting question.
Do they? So let me ask you this:
So
do they make a blue wing olive parachute?
Yeah.
They do, yes.
So there's your strike indicator.
Well, one of the problems you run into using like an actual like primary like dun pattern for a strike indicator is
size.
Basically, any mend you do could potentially sink.
Sure.
You're done. So like it may not be very productive to use it as a strike indicator. That's why they usually use like a grasshopper or a chubby Chernobyl.
I see your point, but my other point would be, or my rebuttal, I suppose, would be just don't mend as much.
Yeah, but so the
situation dictates.
Well, the other problem with your theory is you also have a fly hanging below that's dependent on an entirely different current, which could easily drag down a size 14 BWO.
Sure.
Let alone if it's like a later season one, like fall or actually even early spring, where you're talking like a size 16, maybe even a size 18. Like, A, that thing's going to be really damn hard to see as a dry dropper.
Sure.
But B, it basically just needs to get wet and it's done.
Which, if they swim back down,
right,
lay their eggs, like even if
there's no lose here.
Yeah, you can fish 3 different points in the water column off 2 different flies.
I'm not arguing that. I just think dry dropper's the wrong analogy to use for that.
Yeah, I classify
the concept of a dry dropper.
Yeah.
Okay, tying one fly onto another fly or whatever you want.
Well, my thing
But
is I think your dry flies basically going to end up as an emerger caught in the film more so than a dry fly.
Still part of their whole system.
Well,
right?
I'm not arguing that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you lose the whole purpose of the dry in the dry dropper scenario.
I'd call it more of a tandem rig versus a conventional dry dropper.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will agree with that.
I'm on that. I'll take it.
I would really like to see you try it out.
It sounds like the ultimate rig, in my opinion, this time of the year.
Yeah, like for me, like
The only low note is when you get hung up, you lose 3 flies.
just 2.
Well,
I'm just
If
using
you're only using 2.
Are you dropping a nymph on the bottom?
Why not?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's 3 flies.
Well, then you're
Nymph,
at 3.
emerger, and other upper emerger in the film.
Yeah,
That's a 3 fly fuck up.
I'll
Just
only
saying.
be using 2.
For that reason.
I'm gonna have
No.
I'm gonna have to try and see if I can find a couple of good wet fly patterns for BWOs now. Like,
I still don't like it.
I mean, it should be pretty easy. I mean, it's basically just an all body with, bluish, grayish colored wings.
right? Well, I need the actual material because the my bluish grayish is very different. The rest
That's
of the world's
fair. Your
apparently-
bluish grayish is probably purple.
More pink, actually.
Really?
Yeah, grays.
Okay, guys, if you see a olive body, can you see? No, you can't see green. So what do you do for olive?
He reads.
Green is...
Oh, you read the title. Oh, this is olive.
If I don't have labels on any of the colored things I have, it's going to be a weird day in fly tying for me.
Okay, so if you see a pink and olive green fly stuck on the bottom, Ross was here.
Yes.
You know, caddisflies also swim and lay eggs.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I can't say that they all do, but many caddisflies swim to the bottom, lay their eggs, and then come back up. And they pass away then, too.
That's incredible. All my years doing
it's called a swimming caddis. I, in fact, tied a bunch up. But the problem I have, when do you see that? Because all you ever see of a caddisfly is just popping up out of the water.
Yeah.
Right.
Or their old shucks being stuck on your hook and
I hate
fouling future trout.
hate it.
Yeah.
I've never had that happen many. I've had stonefly shucks, but not caddis shucks.
Oh, I get a lot of caddis shucks.
Yeah, a lot of caddis shucks.
What do they look like?
They're smaller versions of stonefly shucks.
I don't think.
It's just enough for you to miss, like when you're checking your fly real quick, just to make sure you're not like scrubbing moss or whatever.
Yeah, you have to actually look because it's there, but it's not like when you get a stonefly shuck, it's like, oh, I can.
You're talking the cases,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
the metal case. Not the metal, the rock cases. I've seen lots of the rock cases where the caddis larva builds the case around it, and then I've hooked those lots of times.
Yeah,
That's
what
what
we're
we're
talking about.
Okay.
I'd call them a shuck, but
Well, the shuck is what the caddisfly comes out of, and that's what I mean. I hardly ever see a caddis shuck.
see, this is like, we probably should do a.
I mean, there's a lot of things about fly fishing. That's why I find it so fascinating.
Well, that and terminology.
Yeah.
Well, because it varies local. Because when Dad and I were driving up from when I met West Virginia, the Sean transfer, like whoever
Is that what you're calling that?
whoever the blue wing olive expert Tom Rosenbaum Gardner Bauer had on, he was calling mergers cripples.
yeah.
Well,
I've heard that.
they're not the same thing.
That's
but-
why I was very confused when he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah," when they're like stuck in the surface film, and I'm like, "That's not what I define as a cripple."
No, cripples are just that. They either don't come out of the nymphal shuck
Yeah.
and they can't get their wings up, or their legs are stuck in it, or something like that. Or just being slow to get out of the surface film is just an emerger, and sometimes cool weather is the reason for that. Sometimes high water, sometimes fast water, sometimes
Debris, etc.
yeah, etc. Something that interrupts a normal hatching.
That's what was confusing me though, is because he was calling spinners cripples, and I'm like, what now?
Oh, okay.
Well, that's one of those things that, like, I'm sure. Hell, even when we're doing it, like the amount of times I call what I'm talking about the completely wrong thing, just 'cause we talk about it so
You
much.
want to talk about the completely wrong thing? I think pretty sure Chris over here calls every nymph a pheasant tail.
Well, they all
No.
are.
Just hare's ears.
Yeah.
I'm using a brown hare's ear. It was like, cool, so am I. And then he shows me his fly. It's like,
That's pheasant tail.
yeah, or vice versa. Actually,
Yeah, exactly.
Cooper's hair.
It happens every time.
it literally every time.
It's
like-
what-
Well, my trick is if I'm the one catching the fish, you actually don't know what I'm using.
right.
I actually
I could
don't,
be right,
'cause
I
it
could be
turns
wrong.
out a hare's ear is a pheasant tail and a hare's ear in Cooper's mind.
Yeah, I could be actually right, but you don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
dang
gonna,
right I don't.
I'm gonna have to tie up like a hare's ear with like the pheasant tail wings and just slip them into his box. Completely confuse him.
Well, I mean,
I
it's like,
think I might already have some of those.
yeah, I mean, his most successful like cool / warm water flies like some bastardization of like a woolly bugger. I don't even remember what it's called, but he's like, oh, I'm using this thing. I'm
Oh.
like, oh, that looks like a woolly bugger, but it's not actually a woolly bugger.
Yeah.
You're talking about the one I do well out with bass and stuff.
Yeah.
It's some kind of crayfish / woolly bugger goofy ass pattern.
CK.
I can't.
I don't even
remember
know what it is, but like I mean, he literally like
I buy them all the time.
Ross, Cooper, and I went fishing on Pymatooning, and we were fishing for muskie, and Cooper ended up catching like a very nice catfish.
Oh yeah.
Only one I think that caught a fish that day. And we're like, oh, what are you using? And he's like, oh, it's like a half woolly bugger, half something else. And he showed it to me. And it's like, yep, that is exactly what that is. And I'd be interested to know the name.
I want to say they have it labeled. It's off a Big Y. They have it labeled as some kind of type of crayfish, but it's not.
Well, it's what I mean. Even the near enough crayfish isn't really a freaking crayfish looking thing in the water.
Yeah, those are weird looking.
They're one of the ones that's like, oh, it looks like a crayfish when it's dry, and then as soon as you hit in the water, it's like, oh yeah, it looks like a woolly bugger.
Right, but
hey, guy, what are you doing over there? We're putting on a podcast. Now we're gonna get sued. Thanks for that.
they didn't hear it. So what's
Fine, I muted him.
So the
Might have picked it up through my mic, but
so with the blue wing olives, to get back on topic here.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
What was your? We talked about when they came off. Typically, your mornings and your quote unquote cooler water temperatures relative to the normal temperatures of the stream.
I mean, they are literally the most generic mayfly ever because they come off the entire time. Early, mid, late morning, midday, afternoon, evening, night. It literally is like the great mystery of what the heck makes these things go off. Hence, a lot of people think they're actually multiple species.
Yeah.
Because
sorry, not to be an ass, but I think I found it. It's stop it. It is actually called a soft hackle crayfish bugger.
all right, so there you go. It's half
Love that
crayfish and half bugger, but very successful in warm water conditions. So there you go. But that's why a lot of people think they're different species. Is because it's basically like, oh look, there's storm clouds rolling in. Boom, blue wing olive hatch.
So that's like, they're also one of the most longest lasting hatches. Correct.
Well, I kind of feel, and I have zero scientific data to back this up.
Mm-hmm.
Did you turn his microphone back on?
Yes.
Okay. I kind of feel, and I have zero scientific data to back this up, I kind of feel like they are probably one of the most prevalent hatches in Pennsylvania. I'm not talking about like in a single hatch, but they just seem to hatch
It's what like
constantly.
They can start coming off in April, and then like you can be sitting there in October and blue wing olives smaller. But
I mean, I've seen them hatch in December. Like I'm fishing midges, and all of a sudden there's a blue wing olive hatch coming off. It's like, what the heck?
So it might be a good thing, if you're just getting into fly fishing and dry fly fishing specifically. Like, if you don't know what's going on, blue wing olive might be a very nice go-to pattern. Like, if you can't actually identify what's coming off, toss out a BWO.
Because I think other than the actual deads of summer, I think generally BWOs are coming off.
It makes sense to me. I see him. Well, I see what I
see him in the fall. I see him in the spring, and I see him in the early summer. Deads of summer don't see so much. Not July or August as much, but
I know. I've said it before. I think blue wings are probably my favorite dry fly just to throw. That might just be the reason, just because I catch fish off of them all year.
You've had a lot of success off them.
Right.
I mean, they seem like they're coming off a lot. So, it's always a good fly to throw.
Well, I know out west, too, a lot of people get, like, over here, like, green drake is a big hatch here. Like, you hear all the time about, like, guys out west are like, oh, we had a great blue wing olive hatch, and, like, everybody's out on the stream, and they're all excited about it because it's, like, an extremely... There's also a bunch of them that come off at a time. It's not like a... Like a stonefly hatch where there's bugs coming off, but they might not be as there's not as much quantity of them.
Well, I think the thing with the blue wing olive hatch is they tend to be a longer running hatch. Like once it starts, like it runs for a long while. Whereas like some hatches, it's like literally the hatch is 1 week long, and if you miss it, you're screwed.
Yeah,
I've seen shorter. Yeah,
it lasts a long time during the day too.
Yeah, when a blue wing olive hatch is going off, like, I'm pretty sure we've caught fish
all
the
day.
entire day.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was one of the hatches that, like, it always surprised me with how just long it lasts. They'd start in the morning, and we'd literally be fishing the same flies as the sun was going down, and they just never really stopped.
Yeah.
Which... It's just surprising to me that one bug will do a certain thing, and other bugs, it's like, well, it was here for 15 minutes, now it's gone, oh well.
Yeah, because it's like, like the World Series of fly fishing is like the Pennsylvania green drake hatch. Like
Yeah.
that thing lasts 1 week, maybe 2 at most.
Yeah, 10 days.
So yeah, it's something like that. And if it rains, it cuts it short.
Yeah.
Like it's you better be ready and have it marked in your calendar if you want to fish that one. But like blue wing olive, generally damn near trout season long producer.
Yep.
So
What so I know we were talking about how they'll swim to the bottom. Now when they turn into a spinner, that means they will rise from the bottom back up when they die, correct?
Yep.
well, I'm not an entomologist, so either they die on the bottom and then float up,
Yep.
or they come back out and say, "Okay, I'm good,"
Yeah, I mean at the end.
and drop.
Almost
Either way,
almost like a diver that comes up too quickly or something.
yeah,
Like a
maybe they're
pressure
getting
killer.
maybe they're getting the bends.
Yeah.
What like I'm just trying to that's
So like for nymphs, I mean, so the one tricky part with blue wing olives is you literally have to match the hatch because they come out in a whole bunch of different sizes. I
Yeah.
think the biggest is like 14, size 14.
12 or 14, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, okay, 12 or 14, and then the smallest I think is like an 18.
Oh, they're 22s.
Well, there you go. There's
Yeah.
22s.
Yeah, at least 22s, yeah.
Bring your
I've-
bifocals to tie those on.
I've actually, those are some of the smallest flies I have are blue wing olives because I have a variety. That's the vast majority of my flies are the same sizes or
Yeah.
close to it.
Well, I mean, most
But
of your
my
mayfly
blue wing-
hatches are in the 12 to 14. So
Mhm.
My blue wing olives are the smallest size, like 20. I might even have 24s, but I don't think so. 22s to maybe even 16s.
yeah, biggest mistake I ever made was I bought individual midges.
Yeah.
Good luck tying those
Yeah.
onto your
Yeah.
leader.
No.
That's like everybody loves the zebra midge pattern. I can't tell you the last time I threw one on just because it's such a pain in the ass. To
I
like,
do.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do in the winter trout fishing.
Yeah, there's a time.
I
and
used
place.
to do that too, fish up at camp, particularly in the winter. I caught a bunch of fish one day in the Shannon Creek. It was a kind of a warm day, and I think I was using 18 or 20 Adams,
Oh,
and
geez.
was catching quite a few trout.
Yeah.
I don't remember how many, but
I mean, I think the smallest fly I have is a size 28.
I'd have no purpose for that.
Yeah, I can't.
Well, I mean, you can't see. So
I mean, is that classified as a micro?
yeah.
yeah, that's.
I don't know the numbers
I
for
don't
where
know
micro
I don't know
starts
the numbers
and stops.
either. I just know I've never really heard of a fly smaller than a size 28.
Okay.
I've heard of 32s.
Well, there you
Jeez,
go.
oh, man.
Lex,
Well, I mean, all I know is like I actually almost need bifocals or the flip down glasses to tie the size 28 on because that is, and you have to use like
6X pretty much.
6
Oh,
or 7X to
6
tie 'em
or
on.
7, yeah.
Like it's smaller than 5X.
it could even be 8X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lex, remember Lex? He had a 32 that he tied,
Wow.
and he got a couple of hooks from his fly shop and went home and tied them when he was a younger man, not when
Yeah.
he was our age.
Well, I mean, it shocks me, like, because, I follow a lot of fly tying / fly fishing Facebook groups. It shocks me to see people that are, like, tying flies that are smaller than the length of Dwight D. Eisenhower's head on a dime.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
it's-
that's Roosevelt, not Eisenhower. My bad.
Boo.
either way.
You ruined it.
I know.
like, the fact
Edit.
the fact that like well done.
Thank you.
Well timed, sir. Well timed.
Yeah, the fact that like one maybe I just need to mature a little more with my fly fishing. Like I have no desire to throw on a fly that small.
No, I don't either.
It's not satisfying for me.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this, and
No, please.
apparently all the listeners are also going to hear this.
Yeah.
The Traco hatch,
Yeah.
teeny tiny little flies, and
Yep.
they catch really really big trout.
Absolutely.
You're talking
22s and 24s.
22s and 24s of the Traco hatch.
I completely believe you. We've talked about it before,
Yeah.
and I'm missing out because I look at that and I'm like, this does not spark joy.
Yeah, I didn't know, like, so like my fly fishing advancement has been an ongoing journey.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where it wasn't until like I started venturing into other species that I came back hardcore to try, because I'd always fish the big hatches, but I didn't fish year round.
Yeah.
And then I became obsessed with fly fishing, so now I fish year round. And I remember fishing and there's this tiny little freaking black and white mayfly. I couldn't figure out what the hell it was because I had never fished that hatch before.
Right.
Just seeing the trout bash it.
Yeah, nonstop.
And then it was like, what the heck is this tiny little black and white? And it was like, oh, it's this thing called a trico. And I'm like, yeah, I had quit fishing in the season by that point. And it's like, oh, there's this whole other extended season. And that was like a shocker.
Well, the extended season came when we bought camp because you're up on the Spring Creek when there's water in the stream and it's cool water in the stream. And that has a great, at least a few years ago, it had a great trico hatch.
Yeah, that's literally when I found it. I was fishing at camp, and I'm like throwing every dry fly I have in the box, trying to figure out what that. Because you just see like it's almost like the water boiling.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's like I don't know what the heck this is, and I'm like trying to catch these little flies. Like I'm throwing midges, thinking they're midges and whatnot. And it's like nope, they're tricos.
Well, Mickness told me about them, and I get up one morning about 6 o'clock, and I wandered out, and fish were already rising, so I. Took me forever to tie a trico on. I think it was a 22. It wasn't even a small one. And I waited out.
Still small.
Minuscule.
Yeah, and I cast, and the reflection of the hillside was on the water. So it looked like I was casting into a forest, and I couldn't see the fly.
Yeah, that's I have a rough idea of where I think my fly is, and if something happens, yoink,
and I did that 3 or 4 times, nothing. So I came in, redid my rig. I put a size 14 caddis fly. In about 18, 20 inches, I put the trico on, and I threw it out there. And now you could really pinpoint your fly, and you could actually figure it out. And you couldn't always see the fly, but you could see where your tippet was at.
Yeah.
And I ended up, I think I caught 6 one morning, and 3 or 4 more on the caddis.
Yeah.
It was a funny morning. And I had 2 or 3 good mornings, and then I didn't go much the next year. I don't know whether I had work or something like that, but I didn't go as much. And, of course, I haven't gone in a couple of years now lately. So
I do know that there is a magical honey hole at a local creek that has a great trico hatch where there's like 30-inch trout. Like
We didn't even say it yet.
I was anticipating it.
I didn't say anything. But there's this local creek that I saw legitimately like the biggest trout I've ever seen. Like they clearly have learned how to evade all the fishermen.
Yeah.
And literally that's how I just the only time I've ever seen them take anything is they were taking tricos.
That's incredible.
So, and that's what so you need to get yourself some tricos.
Nope.
But you also need to learn to tie the tricos because the store-bought ones are garbaggio.
yeah, I tied a bunch one summer.
Cool, I'm going to raid your stuff.
Well, I don't know how many are left now. Though.
God damn it. Because I know I ordered tricos, and literally I don't know what the hell the Kenyans were doing, but they weren't using proper dye in their thread or something because like my black and white tricos turned purple, and it was like, come on.
Well, if I can, I'll try and tie a couple up, but it might be a while for me to actually get in there.
They're easy.
Yeah, I do.
Other than being small.
Yeah, they're small. Yeah, they're not super complicated, but they are small.
They're easy.
I do have, kind of to not wrap it up so much, but I did want to get in here now that we're getting into the tail end of our podcast. Did officially get to try out my 6-weight build.
Ooh.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
I was actually going to bring it up at one point or another, but you have this smudge on your face.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you what that was about.
Oh, yeah.
It's the gold enamel paint that I used to write the length and weight of the fly rod on the one I built. So
I thought it looked like somebody gave you a mushroom stamp on the side of your face.
Gross.
Almost.
I mean, it's what that does not look gold. Turn again. Yeah, that's black, dude.
No, it's gold.
Okay.
I can tell you the paint color.
All right.
But either way, I got off work one day, and it was the last nice day we had before all this rain started coming. And thank you. Like any good fly fisherman, I had all my gear in the toolbox in my truck, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to go hit a local stream, test it out, just make sure everything works before I start bragging about it.
Smart.
I got up there and doing great things. There was a very small, actually a fingernail-sized black stonefly was coming off. So I did very well and matched the hatch with a white zonker.
Attaboy.
Black stonefly, you went with a white zonker.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing streamer fishing, man.
Well,
How many fish
they,
you
They
catch?
make zonkers in black.
They do, but white was the one I had most success. I tied up a couple black zonkers, but they were way too big for.
Okay.
What did you catch?
I caught. I literally caught two. Just say I caught more than one off the rod. You know, one of those, and I packed up. But no, I caught two very nice. One was 12 inches. One was 13-inch rainbows. And boy, like I'm gonna be, no pun intended, really hooked off streamer fishing because.
Well,
Like-
I mean, it's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, well
It's like fishing for the bigger fish, but smaller.
and that was like pretty good water conditions. It was just clear enough that I could see that zonker coming through the water, but not enough to see the fish coming after it. And it was like catching,
Surprise hits.
Yeah, and boy, like you hear all the time with streamer fishing, the tug is the drug.
Yeah.
And boy, does that ring true, because the run I was fishing where I caught the two there, I was flipping it up about quarter up for me and right off the bank, popping it a couple times to get it into the run. And then I would let it swing out and tail out of the run. But both of these took it right in the run, right off of the bank. And I'm just giving it a couple tight little strips and just hitting it like a freight train.
So you didn't strip them the whole way to you like you do with muskie.
No, I fought these very as delicately as I could, because I'm actually glad I remembered, because I was getting ready to just like straight stick it and just strip them in. But it's like, oh no, these are gentle fish.
Yeah.
But
On a side note, since I apparently brought up muskie for, I guess, the four of us,
yeah,
so we're aware, the Nittany Valley Muskie Alliance League Night starts on Thursday.
oh yeah, that's right.
So you're off this week on Thursday.
I'm picking up overtime. I'm sorry.
I don't actually care.
Oh,
I was just saying you theoretically were off
yeah,
because tonight or this morning started your vacation.
right.
Yeah. So, which means you should still be off for the weekend. But anyway,
I'm picking up 2 extra days, going in 2 days early.
To be off 2 days later.
No,
Earlier.
no, I'm working 6 days.
Oh, you're
in a
just
row.
taking the overtime. You're
What
not taking
is
the
this
same
math?
schedule.
Anyway, Nittany Valley Muskie Alliance Muskie Night League Night starts on Thursday. It's $0 to enter. You do have to post where you're going to fish and kind of post register to say, hey, I'm participating.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just say I'm fishing in Pennsylvania?
So all Pennsylvania waters are open. There's no specific water, but you do have to post, I think, on their Facebook page or message the guy running it, who I don't recall. So check out their Facebook page. But that starts Thursday and it's going to run through, I think, at least May and then into June, weather depending. So
Awesome.
So for you muskie fishermen that kind of enjoy chasing them in a competitive atmosphere, then hey, cool. Nittany Valley Muskie Alliance Muskie League starts tonight. It's also all tackle. But for those listening, we all know you're fly fishing. But it is the Nittany Valley Muskie Association League is all tackle.
Gross.
I know, right? Come on. You host the beast. Be better.
I'm gonna have to talk to Dixon about that.
I know, right?
Not a big fan of that.
Can you still catch them off a fly and post them?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can catch them off it's all tackle. You can catch them off anything.
No live bait is what you're saying.
Yeah, no live bait. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it's the same as artificial lures, etc. It's like all their other tournaments. So
That's
it's no live bait, but it can be fly fishing or you can throw dildos if your heart desires. So,
Yeah, the big whopper ploppers and whatnot. But
I was just calling the people that don't fly fish a bunch of dildos. But
no, I like it.
But yeah, that starts this Thursday. So if you're interested in that, then definitely check out their Facebook page because they have a lot of information. I think you have to register on the Friends of the Nittany Valley Muskie Alliance. But I will be registering and I will be fishing some local water.
Wonderful.
Bad news for the lady friend because I think we made plans, but then that happened. So
Yeah, just take her. It'll be all right.
yeah, we're gonna good plan, Russ. Good plan.
Teach her how to work the net.
Exactly. This is a bonding moment, honey.
Yeah. Don't mess up. But
I will never
don't
forgive
fall out.
you.
Don't fall out either.
Well, I will never forgive you. But I mean, I still haven't let go of Mike blowing my largest muskie to date. But
Exactly.
Anyway, I think that's all we have this week. Anybody else got anything?
Nope.
We're good. Check us out on Instagram. We're just going to say @DangerousFlyFishing. YouTube, search for @DangerousFlyFishing. That's where you can find all our episodes and everything. And then at some point, some lazy asshole is going to post a review on his fishing jacket.
Vest.
Backpack
Fish
thing.
pond vest.
Yeah, I think it's like, whatever. Also,
It's been a year. We need a review.
It's going to be 1 year. I think I reviewed it 1 year before, or literally the weekend before opening day of Trout. So it's due for the 1 year review. I used it. Cool. I forget our third. Oh, yeah. Shoot us an email, dangerousflyfishing@gmail.com. Questions, tips, hints, etc. I mean, this is your opportunity for sharing your knowledge, and we'd be more than happy to forward that to the world.
Yeah.
So hit us up.
Yeah. Also, when you send an email, if you send an email, any information or questions or things you want to hear us talk about, we can do our research and actually talk about those things for your listening pleasure.
You're saying we're not experts?
No.
Is anybody actually an expert in fly fishing? Because it's pretty much like every time you go out, you learn something totally and completely new.
Agreed.
I'll be the expert.
Well, we count on you for fly tying, but I mean, like, who the hell voted for the colorblind guy to be our fly tying expert?
I'm all about it.
In my opinion, fish are colorblind. It gives us an advantage. I have no scientific evidence to back that up.
Yeah,
but I have blind optimism.
I will say most of the flies he has tied me for muskie are have some type of purple in them.
Yeah.
I've also
I'm
seen
okay
them,
with that.
I've also seen them hit flies where it's literally like a child's doll where they shoved a giant hook through. So I'm not sure that that's the bar. I mean, we probably spend way too much time thinking about how to tie the perfect fly. I mean, it's probably the same with trout fishing too.
Oh,
We
absolutely.
spend too much time trying to tie the perfect fly that we forget that, like, hey, man, that thing's freaking weird and doing stuff and cool. Looks weak.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we were wrapping up.
Yep. Walk us out of here, Mr. Cooper.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. As always, good luck. Don't suck. Stay dangerous.